don't think we could kick off KBIS any cooler than this. Honestly, this is a great session for a kickoff. I am going to introduce, as you can see, Fire and Ice. I'm going to introduce Nancy Fire first, and she will take over after that. For more than 2 decades, Nancy Fire has been at the epicenter of some of the world's most exciting lifestyle brands. She has worked with leading brands and celebrities to capitalize on emerging trends. She curates and develops new product lines. Her fine arts background, along with a focus on curation and style, has helped her look at the world of design with eyes wide open. Nancy is currently the design director of HGTV Home, where she oversees the brand's design direction and image. In addition, she is the design director for Kelly Ripa Home, where she works alongside TV host and actress Kelly Ripa to create Ripa's design collection, featuring bedding, rugs, pillows, and furniture. Fire is also the designer for the collaborative New York Studio NYC Design. Nancy and I were talking backstage, and we were having a bit of a laugh. I dropped my daughter back off at college Sunday before heading to the airport, and I was telling her that I was going to meet Vanilla Ice this week. She proceeded to sing Ice Ice Baby word for word. My daughter was born in 1999, so obviously this is major staying power for Vanilla Ice. And Nancy Fire, where are you? Nancy also shared with me that her 24-year-old daughter finally thinks she's cool because she gets to hang with Vanilla Ice so much. And Nancy, for the record, I thought you were cool the second I met you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Fire.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for being here and for your patience, but we have Vanilla Ice in the house. How cool is that, right? Woohoo! Yes, okay, I feel the same way. I'm starstruck. He's so cool, smart, intelligent. Let me just tell you a few things. We're excited to have him here. He has an amazing show on DIY Network's extremely popular series, Vanilla Ice Project. Everyone knows him for his Ice Ice Baby, right? Ice Ice Baby. Do you know that he sold 160 million records? But Vanilla Ice is also a very successful real estate entrepreneur and remodeling expert for nearly 20 years. He has amazing hands-on experience, and do you know his first renovation was his own home on Star Island in Miami when he was just a teen? He's now a master at flipping homes and knows exactly what buyers want today. I could not be more delighted to have Vanilla Ice here with us this morning, so please help me welcome Vanilla Ice to this stage.
Hey, hello. All right. We got feedback. How's everybody doing? Nice to see everybody. We're so far apart.
We are so far apart.
Come on.
My microphone got nervous, it fell.
Ah, it's good to be here. Is this thing working? Everybody good? All ready. Come on. Let the fun begin.
Okay, so the fun is really going to begin because we have a few questions to ask this talented gentleman sitting right here, and then we're going to open it up to all of you to ask Vanilla Ice the questions that you've been waiting for. So, with no further ado, other than the clicker, which is over here.
Everything working?
I think so. There we
All
go.
right.
Okay, so we're currently witnessing metal mixing throughout the home.
Right.
We're seeing metals that are combined where years ago you were only able to utilize really one metal in a home. Looking at this first slide of yours, which is this amazing ornate gate, can you tell us about your ideas on metal mixing and what you feel is the right way to go?
Well, I love metal. It gives you a great feel. It's feng shui right off the bat. But I just want everybody to know, that I went to design school, so I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not just Mr. Ice Ice Baby here. So 18 years ago, after the Running Man, I kept running into design school, and I really, really have a passion for it. So I love it. And one thing we did here was I had these guys custom weld an iron gate. because I believe that, you know, you get one time, only one time for a first impression when you're showing a property. And there's no better way than the front gates right when you enter the property to set the pace.
Absolutely.
So I put the cultured stone around the columns here that we put in, but the iron gates have a nice, you know, design to them, a nice warm feel to them, but they're transparent so you can see the house sitting behind it. Focal points are everything. And I felt like, you know what, when you come in here, if your property allows it to have, you know, estate gates, what better way to set a presence of a true estate, 3 acres on the direct ocean, than to have a beautiful estate gate like this. Before I built this property, there was no gates there. It was just overgrown grass and weeds, and it was a house that pretty much looked like Pizza Hut. It had like this funny Pizza Hut roof to it. So it was kind of cool, we thought, because it was just a shingle roof. But it had a unique shape to it other than just Pizza Hut. And what I wanted to do was add metal for the gate all the way to the roof. So we put a copper roof on it, and we put the metal gate here to simulate, you know, what it does is give you that feng shui. I call feng shui. It's really called feng shui. I call it feng shui because it makes it funky for me. I love driving in, and it's really fun, and it gives you the copper tones and the metals, which give you that feng shui.
Well, what I love about this especially is that it's very open. So you actually get to see the property. You know, it's gated, but it's very friendly. So I think you did a beautiful job mixing metals and what we're seeing happening in trend today. So the next slide of yours. Okay, so I have a question for you. So talk about mixing metals. This room is amazing. Did you start from the ceiling down? Because that ceiling is incredible. So that was my assumption. So tell us a little bit about your mixing metals. Excuse me, because you have so many. You have this beautiful light fixture. Then you have your chair railing. Then you have that beautiful starburst mirror. So you truly are mixing metals like I am today with my jewelry. So let us know about this room. It's fabulous.
With this one here, what I was wanting to do is, since it's a dining room, you know, they're always elegant. You want to have some fun with your dining room, so nobody really looks up anymore because it's just a drywall ceiling. So we put ceiling applications now, and it gives you a purpose and a meaning to look up. So what we did was we put these ceiling tiles up. You can get these anywhere. They make ceiling tiles. They're not too pricey until you get into the real copper, and they make them out of plastic and different things today. So you can just get creative and have fun with them. The chandelier is a vanilla ice chandelier. I actually designed my own chandeliers. You can go to vanillaice.lighting.com and you can look at all my different chandeliers that I've designed.
So we could actually go and buy that chandelier.
You can actually go buy that chandelier. It's like little bubbles. We say the bubbles are no troubles. But the way it works is you have all these square corners. I always still try to incorporate the feng shui. So we add some little circles in there because circles make you feel round and complete.
Absolutely.
When you have a bunch of square, it just makes you feel like you want to kind of step away from it and you want to kind of step out of the room.
Does the length vary at all on the chandeliers, or is it one size fits all, so to speak?
The length varies. You can actually make these any size
so it's custom.
Some people's dining room ceilings not 14 feet like this one. Some are more shallow, so you can adjust the chandelier. We added a nice just neutral wall covering there, just as wallpaper, and then we put a little chair rail around that I painted with a gold Krylon can. I just painted that, I just go in there and start spraying things. People don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, put this up here, let's try this. Put that on, nope, don't like that, rip it off. But, and then we add, the accessories, which will bring in a little bit of the color there. We added some coastal blue with the accessories around. And you can have fun with all that. We always add the color to the accessories. We never put the color to the walls because it becomes a little bit too intrusive. We stay neutral on the floors, the ceilings, and the walls, and we add the color and the accessories. What that does is it makes you feel less confined.
It also gives you choices for accents in the home through your textiles, through different fabrics. Yeah.
So if you get tired of the blue after a while, you can go to red. You can change it over the years. You can go for the holidays. You can make different changes. If you paint your walls blue, red, green, yellow, you're stuck with it. So the accessories give you a little bit of an option to kind of play around with it and have fun with it.
So I would say it's a safe bet to say that you like mixing metals.
I love mixing metals.
Okay.
Metals make you feel warm and happy and great.
Absolutely, just like you are.
Make me want to get up there and do the running man.
Okay, so next. So a trend that we're seeing today are kitchens with lots of gadgets. And after looking at Vanilla Ice's beautiful homes, it seems to me that your kitchens are a little bit more streamlined and sleek. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, it depends on like where I do my house. We live in Florida, so most of my houses are built in Florida. So we like to bring the outside in. We live in the Sunshine State.
Absolutely.
So, you know, looking at the outside
Sure.
is extremely important. So we add tons of windows and glass as much as we possibly can. And I spent a lot of money on that backsplash. I've built backsplashes with every single kind of material you could possibly do it with. Little 1x1 tiles, 2x2s, diagonals. We've put in marble, granite, limestone, onyx, every kind of backsplash you could possibly do, because usually that's the #1 thing people change in a kitchen. So I said, I want to do something different. I even put jellyfish in a backsplash, real living jellyfish. I built an aquarium in there.
Amazing.
Oh, it was crazy.
Amazing,
It was
really.
expensive. It was really cool. But on this one, the way the property was angled, it showed the ocean. So it's 3 acres direct ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, and the house is angled a little bit to the side. And there's no windows on the side because nobody decorates the side of their house. It's just the side of your house.
But why not see the ocean if you can?
So I walked outside, I saw
Absolutely.
the ocean, I go, man, if you had a window right there, that's
Yeah.
the kitchen. I mean,
And that's what you did over here.
I needed my cabinet space, but I said, okay. So what I did is I knocked out the entire wall, and I had to pour, probably out of you guys' range, but I put #5 rebar, 5,000 PSI concrete in there to support the header, which holds up the
Incredible.
roof, just to get that window in there. So we put the window in there, and I tell you what, you sit right there, and you have a meal at the island, and you're looking out and you're seeing the ocean, and you feel this panoramic view around you. And this was on season 7 of the Vanilla Ice project.
Fabulous.
And that was one of the greatest backsplashes I ever made right
It's
there.
absolutely beautiful. So I'm assuming a lot of the properties you work are actually on the ocean.
Some are on the ocean, some are in a Palm Beach area called Wellington, where it's, you know, I do the Gilded Age theme, so
Yes.
it's, you know, they really don't work on the ocean because they have a lot of darker tones.
Absolutely.
Like maroons
Right.
and, you know, darker ceiling applications, which is the house you saw before, the dining room. Those will work in an environment where you have like more vegetation that you're looking at out the windows.
Sure.
But when you're looking at the ocean, if you do dark cabinets and you do dark flooring, it clashes all the way and it feels like you want to just go outside to be happy.
Absolutely.
So with this being on the ocean, you see that we added the painting there to symbolize the blue, which brings the feng shui in, but we got white Turkish marble, we got white countertops, a glazed vanilla cabinet system. And if you can see it, we put in Swarovski crystal handles. So all your handles, they bling. They're made of Swarovski, and they're just little touches and details that really make it pop, but it brings the outside in. So when you're in the kitchen, you feel like you're out there on the ocean.
Absolutely.
It's a good feeling.
And I absolutely love what you did with the blue painting because you're bringing color into the room without it being too much.
Yep.
Fabulous. Okay, so our next question, you sort of talked to us about this already, of bringing the inside out. It's a big trend that we're seeing today, bringing inside out and outside in. So this is a 2-part slide. So the first one is this amazing bedroom that Vanilla Ice did, bringing these indoors, outdoors, and outdoors, indoors. So talk to us about that, and also I'm hoping those are your light fixtures as well because they are sensational.
Those
Are they?
are one of my light fixtures as well. I always like to add, when I have a square room, everything's square, I try to think of something that I can incorporate that's round.
Yeah.
So these are a perfect example. They're not pricey, they look expensive. Those run probably a couple $100 a piece.
That's incredible.
And they make a huge impact, you know what I mean?
Huge.
Like the impact is amazing. And you know, the floor we put in, that's just a lumber liquidator's floor. We got that, that's a bamboo flooring. Because what we did is we put in all the glass here. So those are sliding glass doors, which are 4 panels each, so you can open it all up and it becomes like outside. So there's a lot of humidity, and being on the ocean, there's extreme humidity. So a bamboo floor, instead of regular hardwood, will not buckle. It doesn't flex. Bamboo doesn't flex. It's stronger. It doesn't scratch as bad as a real hardwood floor. So we used, they had this material at Lumber Liquidators. It's a bamboo flooring, and it's beautiful. It's got a nice, earth tone feel to it. It's in the whitish family, and it's still got a nice, comfortable feel where it doesn't feel like a hospital or a museum. I don't like to make my houses too pretty and too clean and too white. Everything becomes like too much of a museum or a hospital, And when you go with some of these LED lighting fixtures and stuff, they give you this glow of like this really, I don't know, it's a white that's like, it doesn't feel comfortable.
Absolutely. Well, you did a great job creating this space. It's very cozy.
So what I love about this image is that the view from the indoors is as beautiful and magical as the outdoors. So let's talk about this slide, because I could stay on this slide all day.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun right here. So this one is, I built everything here. Solar is a newer thing that we're incorporating into our homes, because this is a complete energy house that runs on solar. These are the Russian panels. They're more condensed because I don't really like the way solar panels look on a roof. So they're kind of ugly and intrusive. So I got these, which are more expensive, but they're smaller and they produce the amount of electricity as the bigger ones that came out earlier. But the whole house, it runs completely on solar. There is no meter hooked up to it. So it runs all the air conditioners, all the appliances, everything. In order to do that, we had to put in all this glass, which is UV rated, insulated, and impact rated. It's very expensive to go fully efficient and solar and energy free. We did a calculation. Yes, it works, and it's very nice, but don't run out and grab a bunch of solar panels for your house thinking that you're going to run everything, because it all has to work in conjunction. So I got $250,000 worth of solar panels and batteries. The batteries will sustain the power through the night, but the solar panels and the doors and the lights and the spray foam that we have to put in the attic all is part of the price to make the house fully efficient to run the air conditioners, the appliances, and all the lights during the day or the night. We did a calculation at $380,000 is what it cost for the windows, the solar, the batteries, the system to run it, everything to combine to really get a house completely off the grid. And we did it. It worked. But the calculation shows you'd be 130 years old by the time you paid your energy bill at full potential. So it doesn't really work out economically yet for the solar panels, unless they get a lot cheaper. But they have a new thing that we're figuring out now. It's called, they make actually humidity from the air makes water now, so you have no water source. And we're introducing this in the house. I go out of the country and I go all around the world. And I find all this cool building things, like the builder show here is not just a builder show like we would have in Palm Beach or in your local city, right? This is international. So you got things from around the world coming here that you're not going to get on aisle 10 at Home Depot. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different, and we incorporate these things in the show, and this was one of them I wanted to incorporate. But after I did it, I said, wow, this is really cool. It does work, but it's very expensive upfront money.
Beautiful, beautiful job, though, I have to say. And is that the hot tub that's in the house?
That is the swimming pool here actually goes into the house, into the living room.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing, right?
To give you that feel of feng shui. So you have your water when you come in, your water element, and it actually runs all. You can't see much of it, but it runs all the way through the living room there. And then that's called a champagne hot tub. So the hot tub is right outside the master on this one. And one thing you ladies are definitely going to love that is different, I find today, like when I'm catering to a lot of high-end clients in Palm Beach, it's the wealthiest community in the world, so I get to really kind of do what I want with whatever. I don't have like a comp or a cap.
Doesn't that sound amazing? All the you designers out there, right? I'm like, what? No budget?
No budget, really. I mean, it's like fishing in the greatest cove in the world. You just dangle a little bait in front of their face, and they go, oh, I'll take it. But It's amazing that I can do whatever I want, which is why I love building homes there, because I don't like to have a limit, you know?
You know what? And you're truly talented. It's so nice to see that
Oh,
you don't
thank
have to
you.
worry about a budget, right? Come on, that's great. That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Thank goodness for Palm Beach. But one thing we did was we put the champagne spa here to make it like a really resort, like
I'm moving
like
in.
you're in a suite, you know, at a fine 5-star resort. So that's your master bedroom. So your bed would be probably 15 feet from that champagne hot tub. And then the greatest thing about it is when you come through your master bedroom and you go into the 1,500 square foot master bathroom.
Wow.
This is incredible. I
Wow.
don't know if we brought any pictures of it, but it was on season 6, and it had a cascading waterfall coming down into the bathtub with a chase lounger and a fireplace behind it. And it had a wet bar in there. It's all on solar. All the lights are those the solar cans that come through, and they really do work. And those are great. Those are actually really
I
efficient.
would say that's all inclusive.
All inclusive. And then the greatest thing about this house, believe it or not, when we had our showcasing, when we finished it, we showed all the people, and we get all dressed up, suit and tie, and we come in there and we have hors d'oeuvres and we show everybody the house and see what they think about it, right? Everybody, for some reason, ended up in the closet. The master closet is 1,500 square feet by itself, because one thing I found out today is that we all have way more stuff and more clothes than than they'd had in the back. Remember, like back in the 80s, I
And
don't
lots
know.
of hats, right?
If you look at the houses, they had like his and her closets, but they're really small, right?
Right.
And you can never have too much space for storage. I mean, the women, because I have 2 daughters, the amount of shoes that women have today
Right?
is
right.
unbelievable.
We've earned that right.
Purses for
Absolutely.
every outfit, shoes for every outfit and
Right.
every occasion. So what I did is I put in all these shoe racks to kind of simulate like Saks Fifth Ave, and then we lit them up with recessed lighting and everything. And then you can't see it in the picture, but we actually put a 250 ladies shoe rotisserie. It comes up and it rotates. So it's on a little wheel.
I think we all need that, ladies, right? All of us need that rotisserie.
And so I did one on the opposite side for their purses. And my daughters, they were just like, oh my God, what in the world? So I just wanted to say that when I sell my houses, it's always the lady that makes the decision.
I would think so. I have a question on this amazing closet here. What substrates? It looks like you've mixed different materials to sort of give it a little bit more dimension.
Yeah, and we don't have any windows in here, so we wanted to make it light. So we added 2 different materials here. We added this zebra wood, which is a really cool tone to give you a good color palette. But we kept it light and bright, and all the LED lights help reflect, and then the reflection off of the recessed lighting there really gives you an open, happy feel, like, bright and fun, instead of these dark closets that I've done in the past, and I'm just kind of over it. So along the way, I've learned a lot of ways to make it bright and airy, and colors really play on your mood. And you don't want to go with all these dark colors. It's not a trend today. It's kind of like the old 80s and 90s. And with the kitchens, it's like you see all those old cabinets, and they're darker colors, and people try to make them light and airy and breathable and all that. I don't like seeing microwaves. You know how they put the microwave above your cooktop always? I think a microwave is kind of nothing really to have a focal point.
I feel like everything hidden and a little bit more sleek.
Use
and a
these
little bit more
drawers now. You can get for $100, maybe $300 a microwave drawer that'll kind of go down and out of the way, so you can see some beautiful cabinetry. And you can change your color of your cabinetry without changing all your cabinetry. They have custom painters that come in, and for like $1,000, they'll change the entire color of your kitchen. And then you can add some accessories like your handles and whatnot. But you can really fix up a kitchen on a budget. Really good.
Well, I want to go back to your closet for a minute because I'm not over that. I still haven't processed
Sorry,
the
I drift.
rotisserie for the shoes and the purses. Can you come to New York City to my apartment? Because my closet can use that help.
Anytime.
Oh, right.
Anytime.
You heard that. Anytime.
I'm doing Nancy Fires,
So
New
let
York
me ask
City.
you something here. You have this amazing closet. What I love about it is this space. Usually when you see these walk-in closets, they're a little cluttered, and they have islands in the middle of the closet, which make the closet small.
Right.
You shy away from doing that? It seems like this is a big open space. You can go in and actually see your clothes.
Right.
Okay.
I like to feel like I'm on a display, like at a really fine, like, Saks Fifth Ave or somewhere where you feel like, everything is on display. It's organized. You don't have to look through a bunch of different drawers. And you can get dressed real easy. And if you wanted to, you could put like an ottoman in there. And you could sit down and get dressed, put your shoes on and get dressed. But I like to have it open. Open floor plan just makes you feel less confined,
Open floor plan closet. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Can we talk about your kitchen pantry over there?
Yeah.
About your smart storage.
Oh, yeah. Storage is extremely important. You see the pantry there. When you don't have a lot of room in a pantry, you can still have a good organization there. So we put in lots of containers and lots of different shelving that you can move depending on what you want to store. But we put some trays down here and some wine deals. I mean, and we added a lot of light. So we got the recessed lighting in there. So, you can put a lot more stuff in there than if you just had 2 shelves, which is what this had before. It was just 2 wire shelves. So we added a lot of, organization, which is extremely important today because, like I said, we have more food today. We don't want to go grocery shopping every other day. We want to go maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. So store the food right here and have a lot of organization. I think it's important, but it also looks cool when you open the pantry. You see where everything is, and food doesn't go to waste as much. So I love organization. It seems like everybody has more stuff these days.
We have too much stuff.
Too many shoes.
Too much stuff.
Ladies,
too many shoes, too many purses. But I'm going to go to the next slide for a minute, and I want to talk to you about the most amazing bathroom that you're going to see. We do see a trend today with wood entering into bathrooms, whether it's a blonde wood for more of a spiritual look, or if it's a live edge cabinet that gives you more of a rustic look. But what Vanilla Ice does is he doesn't really use a lot of wood in his bathrooms. He's going to tell you why. But I want you to look at this because every time I see this slide, I feel like I'm in a spa.
Oh, there it is.
That
we do have a picture of it.
Incredible.
You saw it, right? That's the 1,500 square foot bathroom, and all the lights in there, they're LED, and the one in the shower is one of those cans that uses the sun. So it's just like a tube, and then we put it on the roof, and it reflects with mirrors, and it really adds a lot of light in there. And at nighttime, it charges a little battery that has a light inside there, so you still have a light at night. We put in all the cultured stone, which is 1x1 cultured stones around the fireplace here. Put in a nice TV in there just in case you want to watch your soap operas or the Vanilla Ice Project while you're taking a bath. Why not? We've got recessed speakers in there and everything, so you can, play a little Otis Redding and get romantic or whatever you want to do. You can use your own imagination. And then the cascading waterfall. Now, I made that out of a concrete mixture. I drew that on a piece of paper. And what I did is I thought like something really cool where the water enters, it comes down the little cascading waterfall effect there. And we just added some grooves so you don't slip and fall. And we put a Chase lounger in there, and then we lit it up with a watertight light underneath so it glows. And it really looks cool when it's filling up because the water's cascading down. And it's really huge. It's bigger than this picture actually makes it right here. But
the only problem I see with this
what's that?
Is that you'd never want to leave.
Yeah,
you'd never want to leave this bathroom, right?
It's true.
Absolutely fabulous. Really
the marble is a 52 by 52, so they're gigantic. Every single piece of marble is a Turkish marble. We had to lay in there. One person can't carry them. They're too heavy. So 2 people had to lift every single tile as we put the concrete down and put the marble in. But it really came out nice.
This could be my favorite room.
A lot of silver tones in here.
Beautiful.
Silvers and grays are kind of the new trend these days.
Yeah, and I really love how you're mixing substrates here as well. So you have your different tones of tile, you have your different substrates mixing and matching, and it works so nicely, doesn't it? Beautiful.
And one thing we did is we put the plumbing in the wall. You can barely see it in the sink, but the sink lights up just like the bathtub there. So we put all the plumbing in the wall instead of having it come out of just little details that just make big differences all over. It's got 12 shower heads, and a lot of the stuff you don't see that we spend a lot of money on is like the valves. Nobody wants to sit there and wait for your tub to fill all day, and it's a giant tub, right? And nobody wants to add a lot of people do, they add a bunch of, shower heads and fixtures, but they don't change the valve coming in. So the water just kind of trickles out. And they like, well, have no pressure. When you don't have any pressure, it basically sucks, right? So when you add extra shower heads, you have less pressure. So we had to put in a $2,000 valve all the way at the street just to get more water flow to come in. So these things blast like crazy, like you're in the Four Seasons or something. You're getting hit with tons of water pressure. You can turn all of them on at once, and it just 12 shower heads and a rain head. They hit you from all over. You don't even want to get out, and it's all free water, free electricity to heat the water. So it's pretty
Amazing.
cool. You can take the
Amazing.
longest showers you ever want without feeling guilty.
I think Vanilla Ice is the designer that really focuses on details. Your details are incredible.
I'm
impeccable.
so OCD, it scares me. I just love the details, and that's what it's all about.
So we're going to move on to this next question. With Hygge being one of the big trends today, really the simplicity of life and family coming together, and most of the time when that happens, it happens around the kitchen.
Yep.
So this hibachi is awesome. Tell us about how it happened and why it happened and everything else.
So the guy that I made the bathtub with on the last picture, all he did was make vanity tops, and I met him and I said, let's expand. He's got this material that's made of concrete, 50%, and then fiberglass. So it's got a little bit of flex to it. But I said, have you ever done a bathtub? He said, no. I said, we're going to build a bathtub, and I drew it on paper, and that was the bathtub. And then we did the vanity top, of course. But this one he's never done before. And I said, well, what if we built a hibachi table? He's like, what? and then I really put the challenge, because he went, to the Japanese restaurants, and he came up with some ideas that looked like, you went and bought Benihana's old tables or something. And I said, no, this is residential. This can't look like a hibachi table. In fact, when it's not in use, it's got to look like a real elegant dining room table. So how did we do that? So we made this material, and we put it in two pieces. We made the base first, and then I put in fiber optic lights. You can barely see them. You'll see a little red light in there. At night, the whole thing really glows amazing. So they're just like little fine hairs in a fiber optic, and you put them through as the material is wet, and then when it dries, you cut them off, and then you'll see all these little lights in there. It's really cool. The hibachi table I got as a grill. This one's electric. You can do gas or electric. I like the electric. It works perfect. But when it's not in use, you don't have this thing sitting in your dining room table that looks like, a Benihana's. So you put place setting. We made it in white. And we put place settings around with chairs and everything. And then we even put the hood vent to center it over the center so that it looks sort of like a chandelier. And I tell you what, we've never used anything more than this thing right here. It was the coolest thing. All my friends are lined up. They want one now. I said, you got to wait, man. I got 6 months to film this next project, and I got 4 of these to build already. They are the coolest. So we cook breakfast on that thing, lunch. You can cook a grilled cheese sandwich perfect on there. You can cook an omelet right on there. And then when you're done, you clean it up, and then you make it look back like, like a regular dining room table.
I also love the amount of light that you have there, bringing in the indoors, outdoors, outdoors, indoors. This kitchen is a perfect example of that.
And you can see the ocean through there, so it's literally about 200 feet away. And, you can open up these doors and just have a candlelight dinner right there that's so romantic and elegant. And bring that outside in. It's a lot of fun. You never want to leave your house when you make them like this. And that's why we do it. We make them like a resort. Now, a lot of people can't afford 3 acres, direct ocean. This is like, Robin Leach type stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can still incorporate a lot of these colors in your own house on a budget, and you can still understand how the color palette will really make you feel a different way. We say it makes you feel some type of way, because it really does. I mean, we turned this house from zero to hero. This house was built in the 50s. We pumped concrete underneath it. We put steel in over every single one of these doors just to get the opening. It's very expensive to do, but, I mean, you can do this on a budget. It's just about bringing that outside in. You can get out there and put some good plants and landscaping with colors all over it, and then you incorporate some of your accessories on the inside of the house with all those colors, and you'll feel like the outside is inside. You'll love it.
Yeah, I love what you did with your tabletop. Bringing that teal in is just absolutely beautiful. Now, you talked about inside out, outside in. Our last slide is really about something that we have in common. We're both vegetarians.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
both love to eat green.
Yeah.
So when we were speaking on the phone a few weeks ago, we both talked about, these green walls. And Vanilla Ice said, I just built one. Was it like 25 feet or something? We don't have a picture of his. This
Yeah.
is a general picture. But tell us a little bit about, growing your vegetation inside, because there's so many appliances today, both over and under the counter. It's a big experience. It's a big industry. So tell us your thoughts on this.
Well, that's what I keep saying, is that to bring the outside in, it really just makes you feel so much more comfortable, less confined in your house. Like, you sit in your house too long, you get cabin fever, and you're like, I just want to go. I don't know where I'm going, but I got to go outside. I'm going to go pull some weeds or something, right? But when you have, this is called a living wall. So it's real plants. You can use certain lighting that will actually accelerate the plants to grow, or if you put them by a door, we put these 10-foot front doors in with lots of sunlight, so the sun comes right around and comes in, and it actually gives you enough sunlight to grow the plants and whatnot. But it makes you feel like you're outside. And I'm doing one this season, on season 8 of the Vanilla Ice Project. We're doing one that's 10 feet tall, and right on the foyer, so when you walk in, you get this grand ceiling, 23 feet high ceiling, and just open floor plan, 8-foot doors throughout the house, less confinement, and then you got the element from the outside inside with these living walls, and they're a lot of fun. And you can get creative with them. You can just build some shelving and add some plants in there and then kind of let them grow together. But it really looks cool, and it's all real stuff,
I know it's stuff like herbs that you could actually eat, and rosemary and parsley. And you know what? Most of my friends in New York who are doing these are actually making designs. So the ombre of greens or the contrast of color. So not only is it functional, it's also a design experience as well. So we asked Vanilla Ice these 7 questions. So now we're going to open it up to the audience. I'm sure some of you, or most of you, have questions for him as well. So we have a few mics, and we're going to pass those around. Where's Leanne? I think she's going to bring some of those. Perfect. Okay. So who would like to start with a question for Vanilla Ice? Okay, there's a gentleman right there in the green shirt.
All right.
Good morning. My name is John Emery. I'm with Preston Studios. You can see my work in the New American Remodel, in the master bedroom. If you get a chance to go tour that, I do stained glass. If you're familiar with the Morse Museum here in Winter Park, one of the largest collections of Tiffany in the world is right here in Central Florida. My question is, how do we incorporate more stained glass into HGTV?
That's a great question, and we actually do stained glass. It's amazing, and it adds color and pop, and we call it the pow and the wow. A lot of them we do in like eyebrows over the front door, if it allows for it, if you got enough room above your header and your door. They have like these little pieces of glass, and most people are confused. They don't know what to do with it. They think it just allows sunlight in, and they do. But when you change that and you put in this glass with all these colors and everything, the stained glass, it really gives you a cool feel, and you'll look up. You never used to look up at that window before when it was just a window, because it really didn't give you a purpose. But when you put stained glass in there, it gives you a reason to look up and go, wow, that is beautiful.
Absolutely. And the truth is, stained glass is coming back. It's trending. You have old Victorian houses that are being restored. You have people coming in, artisans coming back in like yourself and doing stained glass. You're going to see a lot more of it. Great question.
And not only on windows and whatnot, you can build and get creative. Like you can do tables. I mean, you can even do, I don't know if you've ever done this, but you can do countertops out of not just glass, but you can do stained glass and then put a regular sheet of glass over the top of it so that it's smooth and let it glow from underneath. There's some really cool, tricky stuff.
That's incredible. I didn't think of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
We lit up some onyx, because onyx is a stone that's transparent, and you can light up onyx, but it's crazy expensive. And, you know, it might be fun to take a countertop that's maybe Formica or something and just get creative, invite some friends over, get a bottle of wine, and get in there and do some stained glass countertops and get creative with it. I mean, you know, just got to let your imagination run wild and have fun with it.
Yeah, and I have friends in New York. What they're doing is they're going to vintage stores, and they're actually framing this the stained glass, and they're hanging it. So in triptychs, and it's beautiful on a wall because it's just another piece of art. It's dimensional and it glows. So great question. Okay, I think there's another question for Vanilla Ice. Okay.
Good morning. I live in Melbourne Beach and live in a 100-year-old house right down from where you are.
Just
hold
the
it up.
audio is not so great. Just get it right up in there.
Is that better?
Yep.
I live in Melbourne Beach in a 100-year-old house and have a collection of stained glass, which we do incorporate into windows. My question for you is, on your houses that you have, what's the turnover rate? We've watched your project down south. Every day I drive by it.
What was the question?
What's your turnover rate on selling the homes?
Turnover rate on selling the houses. Well, the way I buy my houses is, most people have heard like foreclosures and short sales, right? I don't buy them that way. I buy them with a lot more red tape. So when I buy my properties, the key to being able to put any kind of amount of money into the property is to buy it below the appraised value. And I'm not talking, a little bit below the appraised value. I'm talking way below the appraised value so that you can add a ton of money and still be in the comps, right? So the way I do it is I buy tax liens. During the house crunch, a lot of defaulted mortgages were bought by banks out of India, China, and you can find these auctions. I don't have time to find them. I just pay an attorney. You give him a $5,000 retainer, and he'll go to the courthouse and get through the red tape, and he'll present the auctions to you. And you can really buy houses for pennies on the dollar. Now, they don't come through every day, and there is a lot of red tape, and you still got to pay your attorney if you don't buy the house. So it kind of blocks a lot of people from going forward. But if you do buy one house and you sell it, that'll pay your attorney fees for the next 20 years. So, it depends on how and where, but the old ancient rule still remains. To make money on a house, it's still location, location, location. And when you get creative with how you decorate it and everything, you don't want to put too much of your own personal touch into it. You want to stay within the demographics of what kind of people would buy the house. And you can check all these statistics online. This is what I do, and I have a small, efficient team. And what we do is we check out like what kind of meridian house prices in the neighborhood, but what kind of income bracket the people are, what kind of nucleus we have around, like the schools, the restaurants, the shopping mall, the beach. People don't want to commute too much anymore because the gas prices are higher and traffic, and it takes so much time out of their life. So they really want to live closer to those nucleuses. So location is still the number one ingredient.
So quick question on that. What are the condition of these houses when you buy them?
Well, I buy distressed houses. I look for the ones with snakes coming out of the pool and cockroaches and the house falling down and the weeds are 20 feet tall. Most builders kind of even stay away from
I think I saw that on Twitter. I think there was no ceiling, right?
Yeah,
Did
no
you do
ceiling.
one recently? You looked up and there was like no ceiling.
It was raining
it was
inside the
sky.
kitchen.
Right.
I love those houses, because I'm not afraid to get in there and get dirty and mix it up and build it up. But as long as they're in a nice neighborhood or some kind of good location, you can do whatever you want as long as you buy it, at a great price. Now, I've bought homes for pennies on the dollar that were, all they needed was a little paint and some carpet, and you can resell it and make a profit. The key to it is to be able to decorate it and fix it up and still have less money than what the house would appraise into it. Because when you go over the appraised value, you're going to have to eat that money.
Absolutely.
So the way it works is just stay below the appraised value, and the only way to really do that and blow the competition away is to buy it so far below the appraised value that it allows you to put in as much money as you want.
Great. We have another question right here. Right? Microphone?
Hi, I'm Kimberly Bowles of Kimberly Bowles Design here in Orlando. I'm starting from the ground up. I don't even have clients. I'm leaping out on faith. So my question to you, what should I do to get going? Because my ideas are beyond the budget of the people I've talked to so far, but I can't take something and make it out of nothing. So what would you do? Give me an idea. What can I do to leap off the ground, like starting tomorrow?
Right. Start small. Like I worked my way up. I started with small homes, 1,500 square feet. Just to get the ropes, to figure out how this works. And I was just doing spec homes, which is just build them. And it usually takes me about a year to build the whole home. By the time I buy the property, you got a couple more months to the closing and everything. So you got, 14 months before I can even turn it over if I sell it when I finish it.
Okay.
If I sit on it for another month and a half, I got to pay taxes on that.
Right.
When you're doing your first deal. Just plan on, you know, keeping it positive by learning that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to go past your budget because when you go shopping for lights, you're going to go, this one fits the budget, but this one's so much nicer, and it's only 30, 40 bucks more. But when you do 30 times, you know, every room, it adds up, and in the end, you're like, I blew my budget. Now I've spent too much money, and I'm stuck on the house. So you do have to do a little bit of calculations, but the best way to do it is know your area and just feel it. You know, we use our gut a lot, you know, and if I know an area that I grew up in and I know how the people are there and how it feels, your gut will tell you that I can fix this house up in a good way, but I would keep everything earth tone because you don't want people to come in there and go, oh gosh, purple walls, green walls.
I love bling. I mean, it's got to be chandelier somewhere. It got to have a little bit of me.
You got to have a little bit of bling.
Okay.
But chandeliers is a place where you can actually save money.
Okay.
Your flooring is where you want to keep that. That's where you spend your money.
Okay.
And that's where the appraiser will come in and give you appraiser value looking at your flooring more than they will on your chandelier.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, you can do all kinds of things, but you're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes. That's why you start small. And you can do it with other people's money. You can get loans and everything for doing this. And, you know, you don't have to, you know, have your own money to start it. But, you know, you got to have location. That's still the number one thing. But just keep an eye on what you think it's going to appraise at.
Okay.
But you want to stage it. Stage the house. Don't have an empty house when you're trying to sell it.
Right.
It's extremely important that the people walk in and they feel like they don't have to do a ton of work to the house and they can just move right in. And just a few pieces of furniture will do that. You don't have to spend a lot of money on that, you know?
Okay.
We even use fake blow-up mattresses. You can't tell, you know, they're $20 and at Walmart and you can put a sheet over it and a blanket and you never know it's fake. You just don't sit on the bed, but you know, it simulates that you could live there, you know?
Okay.
And don't forget about the exterior because curb appeal is so important.
Okay, I got one more thing to say. I've been dying to say this.
Come on.
Ice, ice, baby.
Too cold.
Ice,
cold.
baby.
Oh, we love it.
Don't get me going. I'm going to stand up now.
Yeah, more questions, yeah. Okay, great.
Oh, man.
I'm Karen Lahmeyer with the Different View Interiors in Tampa. I wanted to know, are you doing much with carved stonework for like sinks, malachite, labradorite, anything like that?
Yes. In fact, that's one thing that, you know, when you continuously do things with stone, you start to get bored doing it with the same stone. And I've done every single granite color you could possibly do to the point where I'm tired of granite. I don't want to do granite. So I moved to marble, which has more different, you know, combinations and things you can do. And I've used so much marble, now I'm tired of marble. I've used onyx, and it's so soft, it's beautiful, it's my favorite looking. But you slide one plate across it, and you got a huge scratch on that thing. And it's like, I paid so much money, and now it's scratched. And sinks are really cool because nobody really thinks about putting a cool sink in the house, right? I'm going to spend my money on the countertop and all that. But composite sinks are really cool. They don't really break the dishes. You don't have to scrub like a stainless steel sink. Gets dirty over the time, and you'll take a Brillo pad or whatever. You'll try to scrub the stains out of it. You don't have to do any of that. A composite sink without that middle divider, you know, you don't know which one to use. You got your disposal on this side, so you don't want to go over here and scrape your plate off over here.
So
it's
you're
like,
talking
what does this
big
divider
sink.
really do?
Yeah.
So open sinks, they make these bigger sinks now. They're like farmer sinks and stuff. And then when you want to get decorative, you can actually do glass sinks. You can do glass and light them up.
Ooh, I like that.
We do frosted glass sinks because you know they do countertops out of glass now. You can do the whole sink out of glass, and your sink just glows. And you can turn every light off in your kitchen and have your sink glowing. It's the cool. I tell you what, you'll love doing dishes. It's like, wow, I just want to do dishes because this sink is so cool.
Sounds very club to me, like club-like. I love it. Thank you. Are there more questions? Right? I think we have a few more.
This one's going to be go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go.
No, my question is, how large is your design team on the backside that we don't see on TV? Like, what's your support team look like?
You know, I really wish I had one. Honestly, it's all myself.
Amazing.
I got a very small team. I do it myself. I come in with these crazy ideas, but I got a CAD program. So I put everything in on a CAD program, and I do a storyboard first before I build anything. So I'm already looking at it sort of on a 3D CAD program, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out. But I still marinate. Like I'll walk in a room when everybody's gone, and I'll sit there and I'll cross my arms and I'll go, you know, and I really marinate and gel with the room. So I want to make sure I bring the outside in and add a lot of cool colors there and make it feel warm and inviting. So I don't really have a design team. I like to just kind of keep it myself and just do it.
So will you work off of mood boards? Like, will you do trend mood boards with fabrics and textiles?
Exactly. A mood board. We call it a storyboard.
Exactly.
So we go to like Michael's or whatever, and we get a big black board, and we go to Google, and we just get a bunch of pictures that we like of different kitchens or you know, closets or something, and then we'll get some glue and we'll stick it to it, and we have like 20 different ideas there. And then one of them will kind of grab you more than all the other ones. You'll love them all at first, but the more you marinate on them and look at them, you're like, that's the one. I just keep gravitating towards that one.
Well, that's how we work in our studio in New York. So it's the same. You know, you're all designers, so you know that. You need to bring those substrates in and get that feeling of what you truly want and love. And what I find funny is sometimes what I think I like at the beginning is not what I end up with, right?
Right.
Surprise yourself a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you, right here in the front?
She's so cute.
You can do transitional too, which allows you to kind of throw contemporary in there, modern. You can add a lot of different flavors, some Gilded Age in there. So it really allows you to kind of do whatever you want.
I met you like 6 years ago before you got big in Home Depot, I think on Okeechobee Road, and we took a selfie.
Yeah.
And
I think it's time for another one.
I didn't know what Vanilla Ice was. I thought it was an ice cream truck, and I was looking for ice cream, and the Home Depot associate said, "You don't know Vanilla Ice?" I said, "I thought it was ice cream. I was thirsty." He said, "Stand right here at the register, and you'll meet him." So I did, and you came out with like four of your employees. And I said, "Vanilla Ice, I'm doing mirror edge demonstration today, a do-it-herself class at Home Depot. Would you like to come?" And you said, "Oh, I know mirror edge. I use it." Well, this is before you got big and started doing these $1 million projects. Well, mirror edge is still out there, and we're exhibiting today along with Flow and Stop, a wireless water shutoff system. So I'd like to invite you to our booth later.
I would be glad to come by the booth. In fact, I will be walking around getting great ideas. I mean, I love it. I mean, this is my home away from home, and as well as Home Depot.
Yeah.
But I love it. You know, there's great ideas up and down every one of these aisles. You just got to let your imagination run wild. You know, you might see something, you're like, I don't even know what the heck that is. You know, like I walked by something that had like a wavy material. It was really glossy white.
Absolutely.
And most people would go, I don't know what that is. It looks neat. It kind of got my attention, but and then you have to think about, where can I put that? What kind of application can I use that for?
But what's great is you're not afraid to try something new and different and be the first person to do that, which I really, you know, that's kudos to you for that, because there are a lot of designers who are afraid to really go that step.
Right.
And you just put that Vanilla Ice mark on it, and I have to tell you, your images are phenomenal. So I have a quick question. How does someone work with you? Like, say I'm buying a house down in Palm Beach. Do you have a wait list? Do you interview your clients? Do you, like, how does it work, right? Like, how do you get to work with Vanilla Ice to work on your house?
Honestly,
Tell us.
Well, I don't really take too many clients. Usually they're one of my close friends or whatnot. But I do these houses. They're my own money. They're my own houses. I do them, and I sell them. I flip them.
So do you actually live in them for a while and then flip them?
I do, and I have a hard time selling them.
I was going to say, you have a hard time leaving, don't you?
Yeah, there are.
How do you leave that bathtub?
Well, I still have it.
Oh, you do, right?
I have a daughter that's in college, so she's staying over there right now. She's like, "This bathtub's awesome."
How lucky is she?
But, you know, they're like art. When you do a house and you do the whole house and you build it from ground up, you get attached to them. And you're like, I don't really want to sell it, you know? And honestly, the money in the bank's not going to make you as good a money as, you know.
Absolutely.
The money sitting
today.
in the house. So it just kind of marinates there, and I get to walk over there and go, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing with it, but it looks good, and I'm not really losing any money.
Now, do we have time for one last question, or no? We're good.
Anybody else? Any questions? You want to blur it out real quick? Come on. What do you got back there?
Hello?
Yes. What you do is, she asked me about the glass sinks. So what you do is, so you don't see all the Comet and the cleaner and the plumbing and everything underneath. Now you could keep your cabinet, you know, empty and looking good, or you can use frosted glass is what I do. So we use regular glass and we frost it and then we backlight it. So you don't see anything in there. You can also do colored glass. You can do all kinds of creative things in there.
And the frosted glass gives you a texture, so it's nice. Without
You don't
want to
see the inside of the cabinet. You're right.
Yeah.
But it does give it kind of a green tone if it's not, right? The glass.
The light is
Depends on
gonna.
the
It
light.
depends on the glass. Glass comes in blue tones. It comes in light tones. It comes in clear tones. So depends on the glass you use. Number one, tempered glass will have usually a green tint to it. You can do anything you want with lighting. You put these LED lights underneath it. They'll change colors.
The strip lights.
Strip lights. Yep. You can put them on. They do an app. You have a color dial on there. You can change the color. It's fun. You get to have whoever would have thought playing with your sink, you know, with lighting on my sink. I mean, we do crazy things. They make toilets now, believe it or not. That we install these, just to let you know, coming up on this new season of the Vanilla Ice Project, we have a Bluetooth toilet, okay, that actually has front cleansing, rear cleansing, oscillating, pulsating, warm seat warmers, and everything else.
Love it.
I'm trying to keep it PG for you.
So stay tuned because you're going to see that coming up shortly.
Yeah.
I just want to take a time to thank all of you for your patience, for waiting, and for being here, and to thank Vanilla Ice for all his creative tips and tricks. I've learned so much just chatting with him, and you're just so talented and so funny and such a great person to be up here with. So thank you, everybody, from Fire and Ice.
Fire and
Thank
Ice,
you.
Nancy Fire right
We
here,
love it. Thank
HGTV,
you.
Vanilla Ice. Make sure you check Season 8, the Vanilla Ice Project. It'll be Saturday nights at 10. We got to tell you about it. And maybe we'll find some of this stuff along these aisles and incorporate it in the show.
I bet you will. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
guys.
show. Thank you.